Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Lowrance Training Academy. I am here with my Elite 9 TI2, and what I'm going to show you today is basically just kind of an overview of this unit, all just kind of the ins and outs and really just the basic functions that you need to know how to use it. And so as you can see, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at my sonar screen. It's just kind of your basic sonar, same as any other unit. But I want to first start off by showing you the system controls. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to press my power button right down here, which as you can see brings up the system controls, which gives me the option to, like, I can have standby, I can go into my settings, I can power off, I can control by brightness. You've got your night mode, touch lock, that's how you can edit your overlay, how you can log your sonar. And then there's also this new cool CMAP Embark app, which if you're connected to like your Wi-Fi at home or whatever, you can actually import or export your waypoint, routes, and trails files to it. It's actually a pretty neat app, and it's really actually easy to use. I recommend downloading it to your phone and then syncing it up so that you can use that. So that way you just have ability to control everything, like I said, with your waypoints, routes, and trails. If you want to edit, manipulate them, change the name, create routes, things like that with it. And that's really it for on the system controls. Now, if you want to go to your settings, you can just hit your settings button right there, which takes you right into the settings, or same thing as if you hit your pages button and then you click on the little settings gear up in the corner. Takes you right into the same screen. Now, I've seen a lot of people where, they're wanting to, log their sonar. So it's a real quick access to be able to just hit right there. They can start recording it, and then they, whenever they're done, they can just hit it again, go back, and they can stop it. So let's go ahead and let's go back here to just our regular screen. Now, on most of your screens, you're going to have your plus and minus buttons down here, where that is your zoom in and zoom out buttons. Now, when you're on your sonar like this, you can zoom in on just a specific area, and you'll see over here where you have like your normal screen, and the rest of it's the zoomed area. Well, you can see over here where there's like a shaded blue area on it, which you can touch on it and you can drag it up and down to view just that specific area on your main screen right here. Now, when we're done with that though, we can just hit our minus button to zoom back out. And now we're just at our full screen again. All right, so let's go into just our buttons over here. So our first button is our pages button. That page button on it is going to give us kind of like your home screen. So when you hit your home screen button there, it brings up, allows you to be able to switch between what screen you want. You have your split screens over here. Now there's going to be a bunch of pre-designated split screens, but you can also go in and customize to make new ones. So if you want to do that, you want to make like a customized split screen, you can drag it up, touch your finger and drag it up, and then go over here and hit the little plus button. Now that brings us to our page editor. Now what you can do is you just touch on whichever one you want, and you can drag it over to the center screen here. Now see, if I want just one of my screens over here, let's say I want my side scan, I can just take it and I can drag it into there. And then let's say I also want down scan. Well, I can get it and I can drag it over too. Now you can see how it has the split screens. Now you can even do a three-way split. So let's say I want to grab my sonar, drop it in, and now you can see how they appear on there. Now you can also move them around to like switch the locations of them if you choose, and then you can also control the layout by clicking up here with the little orange box, and then you can see how it changes how it's going to appear as far as the rotation. And so that just kind of gives you the options to be able to kind of control it, manipulate it a little bit better. Gives you a little more functionality and controls with it. But when you're done, you can just hit save, and that takes you right into that screen that we set up. And then you'll notice that if you hit our pages button and then we scroll it up, that very last one we selected is the one down here at the very last in the list. And so you can quickly go back to it if you choose to. All right, now, and you also have the ability to edit ones that are already there. So like say if I want to adjust one of the split screens that I've already set up, or let's say I even made a mistake in one of the ones I created. What I can do is I can scroll it up, I can hit edit, and now you'll see you get these little two icons in each corner of every split screen, and you can either hit the X to delete that one off of it, or you can hit the little gear or the little wrench here and it takes you back into your page editor so that you can, go back and edit it however you want. And then when you're done, you can just hit save or discard if you don't like the specific, the way it shows up on there. So let's go back into our page screen. Now, you also have, like I said, you have your various, full screen pages that you can choose from there, your chart, sonar, side scan, down scan, steer, info. And then you also have your controls over on the left here. Now, you'll notice that you can drag it up and down to view more on here. These units have Wi-Fi built into them, which allows you to be able to link up your phone or even log into the store. Now, I'll do that on a different video to show you how to, do that properly. Now, one feature that I should point out that I feel is kind of important to know is the storage. Now, it's just right here on the left. So you hit your Pages button, you can go over here and click on Storage. And what that does is it allows you to access the internal files in your unit. Now, you'll see where you have your My Files, your Settings database. So if you click on My Files, that brings up all the files that are saved into the internal memory of the unit. So you've got logs like your sonar logs, you've got your manual, which most of these units have a preloaded manual built into them. You have your transfers, and so if like you're downloading things from the web, it'll show up in there. And then you have like your wallpapers, updaters, things like that. Now, Settings database allows you to actually create a settings file to where it saves all of the settings that you have currently set on your unit. And then that way, so if you go in, you do a hard reset, or really, anything to delete the files or, reset your settings on the unit, you can go back and you can reload that settings file back into it. All you do is you just click on it, and then you choose where you want to save it to, and then you can name it and press enter, and it saves that file. And so you can see that popped up here. Now it says settings.set. So if I wanted to import those back in, I could literally just click on it, I can hit import, and it'll load my files right back into the unit, to how initially you had it saved. So it's a nice little feature. Now, when you insert an SD card into it, it's going to pop up right above My Files. It'll say memory card on it. And so you can do the same thing with it. You just click on it, you can view the files, you can import, export different things on it. And so just a nice little feature that they add into it. Now, you also have where it says waypoints right here. That actually allows you to export your waypoints, routes, and trails file. Same thing as with that settings file that I just showed you. It just creates a copy of it to either the internal memory or to your SD card. Now, I will create another video to show you how to properly do that. I just wanted to quickly touch base on that. So let's go ahead and exit out of here. Now, you'll notice that whenever you go into any kind of page, so example, like I went in my storage, you always have this little X up here. That is the exit button here. So anytime you want to clear out of the screen, you can just hit X right there. All right, and so now another option you're going to see is the little gear up here in the corner. As I mentioned before, that is your settings gear. So you can just tap on it, and that brings up all of your settings that you have here on the side. Now, one thing to point out is the system menu here. There are more options on each screen that you can physically see. So if you just touch your finger down here and drag it up, you'll see that there are more options available on it. Now, another one I'll point out for you is the About screen. So I hit System, I scrolled it up, and then I select About. Now this shows me what software version I'm running, as well as the internal serial number. It's very common that you might need to know either one of those because Lowrance always releases new software updates for their unit. And so a lot of times it's good to be able to come in here and look and see what version you're currently running to see if you need to do one of the new downloads. And so again, like I said, you can hit the X up here to exit back out. And then you've got a lot of other options over here. So you've got your services, which is just kind of like your Embark app, like I mentioned before, or the CMap Genesis app, where you can actually create your own map files by using your sonar logs, which is a really cool feature. I like being able to use that. And it's not just logs that you've created. You can also download free maps from that site from other people who have also uploaded their logs to create maps with it. I recommend going on to the website. It's genesismaps.com. You can sign up for a free account on there. Like I said, I highly recommend doing it. You may find that you have really high resolution mapping for your lake that you normally go to, so you don't have to go and buy a new mapping card when you can download it right there for free. Now, you also have your navigation, which this is all about whenever you go into the unit and you say go to. So you select a destination, you hit go to, like a waypoint or just a spot on the map. This allows you to control, like you have your arrival radius, which is the how close you can get to it before the alarm goes off. You have your XTE limit and alarm, which is your cross-track error, which is kind of like the unit will create a little shaded area around your path. And if you go outside that shaded area, it sets off an alarm, and you can control how big that area is. You can set like your trail information. There's the Phantom Lowrance, which nobody really even uses anymore. Now you can go into your chart, which this just controls all the back-end features for your chart. You have your heading and course extensions. You can turn on or off your waypoints, routes, and trails, or you can click right here and you can go into your full waypoint, route, and trails list. And then you also have your sonar features, where you can turn off your internal sonar or allow it to network wirelessly. Well, this is actually a pretty popular one that I recommend you learning and becoming pretty familiar with. And so when you go into your sonar, it's important to go into your installation right here and check and make sure you have the correct transducer type selected. So like say you go out on the water and you're not picking up any sonar or structure, definitely come in here and make sure that it is set to the transducer that came with your unit, or whichever transducer you decided to use with that the unit you're using currently. There's a lot of other features on here, but I will go back into each one of these and explain them in a little bit more detail on another video. But so let's go ahead, we're going to press our pages, we're going to hit our gear. Now let's go back through. Now you have the ability to control your autopilot, which this unit only runs like the XI5 autopilot, as well as the new Ghost autopilot. It doesn't do an outboard. So like I said, so if we click on there, it just allows you to turn on like this compass that'll come up on your map, or to go in and choose the correct autopilot that you're using. Now you also have options like your fuel, which if you're using a like a fuel flow sensor or a fuel level sensor through the NEMA 2000 network. You've got your alarms, where you can go in, you can set various alarms for different things on it. You've got your units of measure. You've got your ability to control your wireless. So on this unit, it's actually got this new cool feature that only this one has, to where if you have a second Elite TI2, you can connect the two units wirelessly, and it allows you to share like your mapping and your sonar and waypoints between both of the units just wirelessly. It's a new feature that Lowrance added in to just these units specifically. And so again, I'll do another video to show you how to do all that. Now you have your network menu, which this one can actually be pretty important. I recommend getting familiar with your data sources and your device list. Your device list is going to show you everything that might be connected to your NEMA 2000 network. And then your data sources is going to show you, where you're allowed you to select where you're pulling all of your various information from. Now, like on this one here, a lot of people will have to do this, where they'll go and they'll select their sonar and water temp, because I can't tell you how many different people I've spoken with who've said that they weren't getting their water temperature. They just got 3 dashed lines. Well, if you come into this screen, usually you'll get it'll have it'll say invalid and have 3 question marks on it. And all you'll have to do is just select the other option that you have on here, and you'll see your water temperature pop up, and then it starts working. Again, another video I'll show you on. I just wanted to kind of touch base on that because it's a pretty popular and common question that I get a lot. And then the last two is your vessels. This one you're probably not going to ever use unless you're using a VHF radio if you have AIS. It allows you to be able to pull up different options on there. And then you also have your simulator. Now this is a pretty popular one. On your simulator, there's 2 things you need to know how to do on this. So a lot of people want to set up their units when they're sitting at home, before they get on the water, which is and you can turn on the simulator to act like you're already out on the water for setting that up, which is a great feature. However, when you do this, you got to make sure that you do not turn on retail mode. Don't do that. That's just for the dealers. And also, whenever you go to turn on the simulate, make sure you go into your files right here and then click on sonar, because a lot of times it's going to default to none. And so when you go to turn that on, you're not going to see anything scrolling across the screen. It's just going to look like it did before. So you got to make sure you go in here, select the active imaging demo file, and then hit save. And then once you do that, and like say we turn our simulate on, when we exit out, let's go back into our sonar, you now see a simulated sonar picture come up. You know, and then when you're done, you hit your pages, hit your little gear, we go down and we hit our simulator, and then we click on it to turn it off. And then now you can see it just goes right back to, you know, where we were at before. And so, you know, those are some basic features on this unit, you know, just things that I feel like you probably need to know how to do just kind of in general with it. Now, of course, I'm making a lot of other videos to show you how to use the different screens specifically, but, you know, like I said, those are very important features on this unit. Now, also, for those of you who didn't know, your SD card is right here. So if you pull this up, you'll see that there's now a little slot revealed behind it, and that's how you add in your SD cards. Well, or I should say micro SD cards. I've talked to a lot of people who couldn't find their card slot, and so just for you guys who can't, it's right there behind that LOW. And then you can just kind of push it back down. Now, another little thing on the buttons here, which I mentioned before, you have your plus and minus there. You also have a plus and minus here. Now these do the exact same thing. Your plus zooms you in, minus zooms you out, and then you have your flag. If you press your flag button, it pops up a new waypoint at your current position, and then you can hit save. Again, I can't you know, say this enough, but I am going to make videos to show all of these individual features on here, and so if you think I'm going too fast, you know, just don't worry. There will be another video to kind of explain it more in depth. I just wanted to kind of show you these basic features on here. And now the last screen I want to show you is, so if we hit our pages button, is your chart. This is going to be probably one of the more common options you're going to use next to your sonar. And so it's going to bring it up here. Now again, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, and then you can also, over here, you have your various set of options, your menus, which you have this on any screen that you're on. You'll have your little set of options over here. Now one little feature you can do is you can kind of touch on it and flick it off, and that actually slides the menu off the side of the screen. And then when you want it back, you can tap on menu and it comes right back. Like I said, you can do that on any of your pages. It does, not just this one. And usually on most screens, if you pay attention to the options over here, you're always going to usually have a more options button on it. So like if you look real closely, you'll see that they all have like little kind of different little edges to them over here. So like these are all just full solid gray boxes. And then like this one here where it says edit overlay, you have like a couple little dashed lines. That means that it takes you into a little sub menu like this to where I can, you know, control a few extra features on it. Now you'll see other ones that kind of comes to a little bit of a point. If you look real closely there, that means it takes you into a whole new list of menus on there. And so, you know, just pay attention on there. Like, so if you can't find a specific feature or menu, just look at the edges there and see if it's an option that will allow you to go into, you know, another menu screen on there. So that way it might help you find that menu or option that you're looking for. And then actually one more thing here, let's go back into sonar. I want to mention here is that you're going to get these little options where it has like a little green or orange corner down here on them. Anytime you have a little green corner, that means that the feature is actually on and activated. So if you click on it and it goes away, that means the feature is turned off. So because they don't have actually like it doesn't say on or off on them, that's how you know whether it's activated or not. You can click on it, it turns it to green. Now another little feature on here is that anytime anything is green, that means it is in a auto mode. Anytime something shows up in orange, it means it is in a manual mode. And so just a little thing they added onto there to kind of help, you know, identify things at a quick glance. And so again, this is our sonar screen. You know, most of you guys already realized this, but I should point it out. These streaks that you're seeing coming up here, those are the fish. You know, that's what happens when you're sitting still, because your image is just repeating over and over. And so you can actually physically see it drawn and coming up to the surface. Now, whenever you are actually moving on the water, they will come up as little arches. Now, I'm going to make a video here on how to use the sonar screen specifically and all the features and menus on it. but we'll go over that on the next video. So, and I think that's really about it on here. I think I kind of touched on everything you probably need to know, just all the basic features and how to use it in general. And so, like I said, we have our system control. Also, one last thing, sorry, is your overlays up here. Now, when you hit your power button, you're going to see where you have data overlay and edit overlay. Now, data overlay turns on or off your overlays over there. See how I do that? Turns them on or off. And again, you get a little orange bar. It means that it's activated. Turns gray, means that it's not activated. And then you also have your edit overlay, which allows you to go through and change these overlays up here to where you can add in new ones, you can delete the ones that are there, or you can just kind of customize them or edit them. And so that's really going to be it for today on this video, guys. I hope you guys learned something. I just wanted to kind of go over all of these basics on here. So stay tuned. I've got a lot more TI2 videos coming. I'm going to go through and show you all the different ins and outs on all the different menu screens. And so, like I said, stay tuned. And as always, stay safe out there, guys.
Alright, well that's it for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it below and hit the subscribe button and the little bell. This will allow you to get notifications every time I release a new training video for your favorite Lowrance product. Also, I wanted to give you guys some really exciting news. We will have our very own website pretty soon, LowranceTrainingAcademy.com. It's going to have even more of your favorite in-depth, comprehensive training videos, so keep an eye out. Of course, I'll be sure to let you all know along the way when it will be up and running. And don't forget, when you watch videos from Lowrance Training Academy, the difference is night and day. Alright, I'll see you all next time.